I've always loved fairy tales, and so I wanted to do a fairy tale that sort of paid homage to the even older kind of fairy tale, like the Grimm's stories. There's something really, scary, but in a good way about these original fairy tales. So I wanted to capture some of that, but yet speak to a modern audience.
Merida believes in magic, and as filmmakers, we want you to believe in that magic as well. So we're trying to make it come out of the earth. It has to seem real or logical or something that you would absolutely believe in. So you go on the journey with Merida.
I saw a wisp.
There's so much of the world as a teenager you don't know. And there's all these things that you're not sure what's real and what's not. You're at that point in your life where you think you know everything, but there's so much more to learn. And the magic plays into that. What is this world made of, and where's my place in it? What do I want to be? There's her life at the castle. That's very clear to her. That's very obvious. Out there's unknowns.
It's always been a goal of ours to keep the magic kind of connected to the earth and the environment. I mean, not in an environmental way, but just in a way that it feels like part of the world.
We evoke the feeling of magic without using magic. In other words, we left dewdrops in the grass. So it's very, very dark, but it'll sparkle. So it creates the feeling with a natural element.
How we initially are introduced to the Ring of Stones is a crazy spinning camera where Merida's just been thrown from the horse. She's disoriented and suddenly finds herself in this big ring of monoliths that is very mysterious. And each time we come back to the Ring of Stones, we're trying to play up the mystery of the magic.
It's a pretty pivotal place in the movie. It is almost like a turntable of where your fate takes you.
You know, some say that will-o'-the-wisps lead you to your fate.
I wanted to look at Scotland to see what they had to offer as far as their legends. And they have these things called will-o'-the-wisps, which are phenomena created when swamp gas on the moors get ignited by static electricity, and the light that gets ignited is blue. And when you walk towards it, the current that you're creating makes it move, so it looks like it's beckoning you to follow. The legend is that they appear at night to travelers who are lost and will lead you to treasure or doom, depending on whether they like you or not.
They seem to be the universal element in spirit that appears and disappears and connects the film.
Wisps are the sirens of the world. They kind of lead Merida into magical situations. And on Brave, we tried to create our own take on the wisps.
The first things we were doing were very nature-based, and they were very physical little beings and made of the materials that are indigenous to Scotland. But they weren't true to the Scottish myth. So they evolved fairly rapidly once we decided, they really should be spiritually based. They really should be these blue kind of gaseous forms or lights.
We're basically trying to take something that is a natural physical phenomenon that is lifeless and imbue life into it. Initially, we tried some tests with the wisps where we would set the surface of its body on fire. And in the end, that's what it looked like. It just looked like a character that had been on fire. And really, we needed these things to be made of fire. So really, to make that happen, the fire had to come from its insides. We wanted them to feel like it wasn't a traditional fire, but more of a magical fire.
So when you're in this natural environment and you see that blue, it evokes this spiritual feeling. And that's what magic is about. It's the intrigue and the unknown.
Why would the wisps leave me here?
You have to have some rules for your magic that limits you, and that's where the witch comes in and makes the rules. And you can only do so much with the magic you're given.
We always said we don't know how old she is. She could be thousands of years old or hundreds of years old, but she's been doing creepy things for a long time.
I think the witch is a really off-the-wall, almost schizophrenic type character that throws off Merida.
I'm a wee whittler of wood.
We really wanted to make her kooky and really energetic. The looseness of the face was important to us.
She's immersed in this superstitious world. She's lived in this old kind of ancient black house covered in grass in this deep part of the forest by herself.
Merida's brash teenager, I just need a quick answer right now, is what plays into the witch's hands.
A cake? You don't want it?
Yes, I want it.
This magic sort of takes her along, and it doesn't come out perfect. It sort of tests her mettle. It's like, okay, this has happened. You didn't get what you asked for. It's something that's going to teach you a lesson.
The whole goal with Mordor's Ruins was a ruined kingdom, and we wanted it to feel like the character felt. Abandoned and cold and icy and void of life.
You suppose this could have been the kingdom in that story you were telling me? The one with the princes?
This whole scene is everything coming together, right? She's realizing the story that Mom told her is true because here's the evidence. But not only that, it's what the witch said about a prince that came that asked for the strength of the 10 men. Oh my God, it's the same freaking guy. So it's all like kind of big epiphany on her face, right? And that terror, that sinking feeling.
Oh no.
That we go, the stakes just got bigger in the movie. So it's all coming together.
There's a point where Merida realizes that this spell is not so much a blessing, but a curse. And now there's this thing they have to overcome. They're gonna have to solve that together and work together.
The second sunrise.
She's realizing the stakes, but she's also not accepting them. I feel like she's fighting the whole time to like get out of it, until she pretty much almost loses her at the end. I think that's where you see her really get it. I think that's when she realized what she had done.
Since the beginning, the story's been about this relationship. It's about Merida not realizing what she has, and that everything she's asking for is actually there.
I want you back, Mummy.
So in the end, undoing the spell becomes not necessarily sewing a piece of fabric back together. It's more about being brave enough to find this resolution within herself.
When we are humble and say we're sorry and go to this quiet place, I think true magic happens. And that in the movie is when Merida is the most brave. You have to look inside yourself for the magic to actually work.
You changed.
Oh, darling. We both have.